of you writers, creatives, freelancers, professionals who do not have anything online with your name on it. Maybe you have a Facebook profile that's private. Maybe you have an Instagram profile that's private. Basically, if I Googled you, I would not find any evidence of your work or what you do, what you're passionate about. Okay, you really need to get visible online, and that is the very first step to your next big leap. Is just such a fundamental piece. I've had writers do some of my most extensive programs on pitching and querying an agent or a publisher, and worked so hard on the manuscript itself, but they do not have any kind of digital presence whatsoever, or it was set up 20 years ago, or it's breaking all these rules. And this is just in 2024, when I'm recording this, it's just so fundamental, and you're not going to be able to move forward in this publishing goal that you have. Actually, I think if you're in any creative industry and you're a freelancer, to not have a digital presence is just, it's what's actually going to move you forward in your career is being visible. And being visible means you put your name and your face to your work. And I'll give you an example from my own life. I had nothing online ever at one point in my writing career. And I used to actually color copy when I had my first articles published. I think my first one was in Runner's World. And I had some, I got a feature story in some kind of women's magazine, another feature story, or it was a health quiz in Clio magazine. And I used to color copy these articles at Officeworks and put these packs together and post them to editors when I was pitching for new work as a freelance writer. I didn't have a website. I didn't have anything like that. This was 2004, I think it was. And it was very expensive. It was like $30 a pack because, color copying things and postage and all of that. And that was how I got some of my first commissions, because I had to actually, it was like pitching for a job. I needed to let these editors know that I existed, show them some examples of my work so they could trust me, trust that I could do what I said I was pitching to do, which was writing freelance articles for these magazines. And it did lead to some contacts and connections. That then moved to faxing. I had a fax machine, used to send my pictures and my samples of my folio via fax. And I actually did get enough work from this and face-to-face conversations. I was in Melbourne at that time and meeting with lots of editors and trying to meet people at events, and I joined a freelance association, media association, did a lot of pitching via email, which I would then follow up with a fax or something like that. But the funny thing is, it wasn't until 2007 that I got a website. And this was such a big leap for me. I think it was $2,000, which isn't a huge amount now, but back then I think my income that year from freelance writing was $45,000. And it was a lot. And the thing is, it didn't pay off straight away. And it was a big investment of time for me. I had to I struggled to think, what do I put on this website? How do I do this? And I came up with, I found some really great writer websites from other writers and authors. And it really was just a homepage with my photo. I was terrified to put that photo up. It was my name. Thank God I bought the domain name for me, louisadc.com. And it even had my phone number on it. And it was basically like a short bio of what I wrote, who I wrote for, and that I was a freelance writer. And it had a page where you could click the links to see various examples of my work, feature stories, essays, articles. And I had the best examples there by then. It took ages to get it set up because this was, back when things had to be scanned, and even the internet and websites took a lot longer then. And it didn't pay off straight away, but it did pay off in the long run. ultimately I had editors that were able to then just quickly click on my website and go, okay, bang, straight away. They knew that I could do what I was saying that I could do. They didn't have to wait. They hadn't forgotten about who I was when I pitched by the time my mailed or faxed thing got to them. It just made it a lot easier. And also with the keywords and things like that, or if anyone, it just meant that opportunities came up and I was open to them and I was there. I had a visible presence online. I had a website. So this leads me to the reason for this this video. If you are pitching even for freelance work or for, I know that a lot of writers, they might have worked as I said, writers in other realms such as screenwriters or copywriters where your name isn't on the story. So if someone Googled you, they wouldn't come up with any of your work. They wouldn't know who you are. You really need to get visible online, and that is the very first step to your next big leap. Whether that be a website, which is just buying your domain name, it has to be your name. If you are writing under your name and pitching a book, which is a personal story, under your name, you must buy that domain name right now. Create your writer platform, which is where I teach you how to set up your website really quickly, how to set up these digital channels. But I do find that it's more about your mindset, because I can give you all of the techniques, and I do have all of these specific details on how to set up your writer platform in Create Your Writer Platform, but you won't do it if you haven't mastered this mindset piece of accepting that you need to show your face online and your name, and it will get easier and easier and easier. Once upon a time, I couldn't even fathom. I used to feel like vomiting at the thought of putting my photo on a website with my name. It just made me terrified. And this is a primal thing. I mean, I think that it's a survival thing. Our egos, it's this whole thing of it's terrifying to put yourself out there because that puts you in danger. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen, but it's also the only way that you can be available for the stuff that you want to happen. And it is just absolutely fundamental. And I don't want anyone buying any of my writing courses who wants to get published, who doesn't have a website or a web presence, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are as a writer, how good your book is, how good your manuscript is, even if you've won a competition for it. If I can't Google your name and find out who you are and just see a very quick, it's a human psychology thing. I need to know who you are so I can trust you and trust that you are who you say you are. And if you're trying to get a publishing deal or an agent representing you, this is a sales pitch that you are making, okay? Publishers spend thousands and thousands of dollars on authors, and they're not going to invest in you. And agents are really there to sell your book to publishers, and agents need to see that your presence is there and you're a sure thing. So you've got those things set up that a publisher will want to see, and they need to see your online presence. It's nowhere near as difficult as it was when I was beginning. You can get a website set up for nothing now on Squarespace, or even using any of these paid platforms that I can tell you about. But it doesn't matter if I don't even need to tell you, if you can't master that headspace thing, that you need to show your face in your name. It needs to be a clear photo of you and your full name, and the fact that you have written more than essays at high school. So that's what I want to say to you today. Focus on that visibility. I'm going to leave you with an action step that you can take so that you get over the fear. What is the absolute best thing that can come from this, okay? What do you want to happen from this? And think about that and let that drive you forward to set up your website, because you could do it in the next hour. There's millions of tutorials on digital marketing. This is why I don't even, promote my writer platform program that much, because it's really a digital marketing program, and there's millions of digital marketing programs out there, but it's actually, I feel quite disillusioned because I've given this program to many, many writers, and they just don't do the work because they haven't gotten over that fear of visibility. So you need to get over the fear of visibility. You need to be, I'm not going to coach any writer because I don't believe that you can get a publishing deal unless you have a visible online presence in 2024. So that is the absolute core foundational piece of what you need to set up before you contact me about coaching. And there's ways to get over your fear. Just think about what you desire, what you ultimately want this web presence to show, what the best of your work is, what your overall long-term goal is, and just do it from there. Okay, don't think about the fears, don't let them take hold.